The guy cutting his own hair in his garage is worth $7 million. The guy in the Porsche parked across the street just got denied for a credit card. Everything you think you know about rich people is a lie, and that lie is keeping you broke. What's up, book lovers? Welcome to Book Zeal. Right now, actual millionaires are laughing at us. Not because we're poor, because we're spending money we don't have to impress people we don't like while they're getting richer in 12-year-old Toyotas. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because what's coming will make you question every financial decision you've ever made. And drop a comment. Where are you watching from? What time is it there? I want to know who's awake for this. Today we're tearing apart The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley. 9 chapters that expose how real wealth is built in America. And I'm warning you right now, Chapter 5 will make you uncomfortable. It reveals how parents destroy their children financially with love. Chapter 8 shows why the kids who inherited money are more miserable than the ones who built it themselves. Skip those 2 and you'll miss the truth that could change your entire family tree. We're covering the shocking habits millionaires actually have, why they're invisible, why frugality isn't what you think it is, why your driveway is announcing to the world that you're financially clueless, the boring businesses making people filthy rich, and the one simple equation that separates millionaires from everyone pretending to be one. This isn't theory. Stanley studied actual millionaires for 20 years, the real ones, not the fake ones on social media. And what he found will either wake you up or make you angry. Probably both. So let's get started. Chapter 1. Meet the Millionaire Next Door. Your neighbor just pulled into his driveway in a 12-year-old Toyota. He's wearing a faded polo shirt and jeans that look like they've survived 3 presidential elections. You probably think he's struggling. You're dead wrong. He's worth $3 million. That guy you see clipping coupons at the grocery store on Sunday morning. The one driving the sensible sedan while you're making payments on your luxury SUV. He owns 4 rental properties and hasn't worried about money in 20 years. Meanwhile, the guy in the BMW parked next to him is drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, pretending to be rich. We've been lied to about wealth. Completely lied to. And the worst part is, we believed every single word of it. Thomas Stanley spent decades studying actual millionaires. Not the ones you see on Instagram with private jets and designer everything. Real millionaires. The ones living in middle-class neighborhoods. The ones you'd never suspect. And what he found flipped everything we thought we knew about money completely upside down. Most millionaires in America don't look like millionaires. They don't act like them either. They're not flashy. They're not loud. They're invisible. And that's exactly how they got rich in the first place. Think about the last wedding you went to. Remember that couple who rented the massive venue, hired the celebrity DJ, served lobster to 200 guests? Yeah, they're probably broke. Now think about your aunt and uncle who got married at the courthouse and spent $3,000 total. They retired at 55. The millionaire next door doesn't wear a Rolex. He wears a Timex that still works perfectly fine after 15 years. His wife doesn't carry a designer handbag. She carries the same leather bag she bought on sale in 2008. Their kids don't go to private school. They go to public school and actually do their homework. And here's the thing that'll really mess with your head. These people aren't miserable. They're not sitting at home crying about the fancy things they don't have. They're the most financially secure, stress-free people you'll ever meet. While everyone else is panicking about the next credit card bill, they're sleeping like babies. Stanley discovered something that sounds almost too simple to be true. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. It's about what you don't spend. It's about the car you don't buy, the vacation you don't take, the watch you don't wear. The actual formula for becoming a millionaire isn't complicated. It's just the complete opposite of what society keeps screaming at us. We've been taught that success means showing everyone how successful you are. Wearing it, driving it, living in it, posting it. But real millionaires, they're ghosting that entire game. Chapter 2. Frugal, frugal, frugal. There's this millionaire Stanley interviewed. Made his fortune owning a chain of dry cleaners. You know what he does every Saturday? He cuts his own hair. Not because he can't afford a barber, because why waste $30 when scissors work just fine? His friends think he's crazy. His kids are embarrassed. But this guy sleeps on $7 million while his friends are refinancing their houses at 60 years old. Frugality isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing the difference between what you need and what advertising convinced you that you need. Real millionaires plan their purchases. They make lists. They compare prices. They wait for sales. Sounds boring, right? Sounds like your grandparents? Well, your grandparents probably had more money saved than half the people earning 6 figures today. Here's what Stanley found that absolutely blew his mind. Millionaires spend less time shopping than broke people, way less time, because they're not shopping for entertainment. They're not browsing online stores at midnight trying to fill some weird emotional void with packages. They buy what they need. They use it until it breaks. Then they buy another one. Revolutionary concept, apparently. One millionaire wore the same winter coat for 23 years. 23 years. Not because it was some designer piece, because it still kept him warm. When people asked why he didn't buy a new one, he'd say, "Why? This one still has a zipper." Another millionaire bought his furniture in 1987. Same couch, same dining table, still sitting on them in 2015. His house looked like a time capsule. His bank account looked like a phone number. The wealthy people Stanley studied weren't depriving themselves. They just didn't need constant newness to feel alive. They didn't need the dopamine hit of unboxing something every week. They found their satisfaction somewhere else, in financial security, in freedom, in never having to beg a bank for anything. They buy quality once instead of garbage 5 times. They maintain things. They repair things. Revolutionary, right? Doing what literally every generation before us did naturally. And here's the killer. Most millionaires rarely buy new cars. They buy used, 2 to 3 years old. Let some other sucker eat the depreciation. One guy Stanley interviewed drove a 7-year-old pickup truck, had $2 million in investments, could have bought 10 new trucks with cash, didn't see the point. Because frugal people understand something the rest of us forgot. Every dollar you don't spend is a dollar that can grow. It can multiply. It can work for you while you sleep. But every dollar you blow on impressing strangers, that's a dollar that dies immediately, gone forever, buried in a landfill somewhere wearing last season's style. The millionaires next door aren't living small lives. They're living free lives, free from debt, free from stress, free from pretending to be something they're not for people who don't actually care. They mastered the art of not giving a damn what anyone thinks about their 12-year-old Toyota. Chapter 3. Time, Energy, and Money. Picture 2 people, same age, same income, $75,000 a year. One of them becomes a millionaire. The other one dies broke. What's the difference? It's not luck. It's not inheritance. It's how they spent their time. The broke person spends 14 hours a week thinking about what to buy next, scrolling through online stores, comparing sneakers, reading reviews for gadgets they don't need, planning their next vacation on credit. Their brain is a shopping cart that never empties. The millionaire spends 14 hours a week planning their financial future, reading about investments, meeting with their accountant, studying the stock market. Their brain is a calculator that never stops compounding. Stanley found something wild. Wealthy people dedicate serious time to managing money, like actual hours. They don't just toss money at a financial advisor and hope for magic. They understand where every dollar goes. They track it. They optimize it. They treat their finances like a business, because that's exactly what it is. Meanwhile, most people spend more time choosing a Netflix show than planning their retirement. One millionaire told Stanley he spends 8 hours a month just reviewing his investments and planning his budget. 8 hours. His neighbor spends 8 hours a month at the mall. Guess which one sleeps better at night? Here's the brutal truth. You can't build wealth if you're constantly distracted by consumption. Your attention is currency. Whatever you focus on grows. Focus on buying stuff, you'll get really good at being broke. Focus on building wealth, and suddenly opportunities appear everywhere. The energy shift is real too. Wealthy people have this calm about them. They're not stressed, not frantic, not checking their bank account in fear every Friday. They built systems that run automatically. They automated their savings. They set up investments that grow without constant babysitting. Poor people are exhausted, not because they work harder, because they're constantly juggling, moving money around to cover minimum payments, dodging overdraft fees, living in financial chaos. That's draining. That's soul-crushing. Stanley interviewed a woman worth $4 million. She spent every Sunday morning with coffee and a spreadsheet, just her and the numbers, planning the week, reviewing expenses, adjusting investments. Her friends thought she was obsessed. She called it freedom. Because when you know exactly where you stand financially, anxiety disappears. When you have a plan, panic can't touch you. When you've built wealth slowly and deliberately, market crashes don't keep you up at night. The millionaire next door doesn't work longer hours than you. They just work on different things. While you're researching the best deal on a new phone, they're researching dividend stocks. While you're planning how to afford that vacation, they're planning how to retire 10 years early. Time is the only resource you can never get back. Wealthy people figured that out early. They invested their time in building assets, not browsing liabilities. Every hour you spend shopping is an hour you didn't spend growing. Chapter 4. You aren't what you drive. There's a dentist in Texas, makes $400,000 a year, drives a brand new Mercedes, leases a new one every 3 years, wears designer suits, lives in a mansion, has $17,000 in his savings account. $17,000. One bad month, and he's finished. His colleague makes the same income, drives a 6-year-old Honda, wears suits from department stores, lives in a modest house, has $1.2 million invested. Same job. Completely different life. Stanley discovered that most millionaires drive cars that cost less than half their annual income. Some drive cars that cost 1/10 of their annual income. They're not making a statement. They're making a choice. Because here's what nobody tells you. Your car is screaming to the world how little you understand about money. Every luxury car in a driveway is a billboard that says, "I value your opinion of me more than my own financial security." Every modest car is a quiet middle finger to that entire game. One millionaire told Stanley he bought his wife a 2-year-old sedan instead of a new luxury SUV, saved $40,000, put it in index funds. 10 years later, that $40,000 became $92,000. His wife drives a perfectly good car. They have an extra $92,000 working for them forever. His neighbor bought the luxury SUV, made payments for 6 years. The car is now worth $12,000. He paid $68,000 total with interest. Lost $56,000 to look impressive at red lights. You know what's actually impressive? Not needing a car to prove anything. Stanley found that millionaires keep their vehicles for years, way past the point where their friends are embarrassed to ride with them. One guy drove the same truck for 16 years. Still ran fine. He's worth $8 million. Could buy a dealership. Doesn't see the point. The psychology is twisted, though. We've been trained to believe that successful people drive expensive cars. So people buy expensive cars to look successful. Then they can't become successful because they're broke from buying the car. It's a trap disguised as achievement. Walk through any wealthy neighborhood. Really wealthy, old money wealthy. You'll see 10-year-old Volvos and ancient Land Rovers. Now drive through the suburb where everyone's pretending. Every driveway has a lease payment on wheels. Here's the thing about cars. They all do the same job, They move you from point A to point B. A $20,000 car does it. A $90,000 car does it. The difference isn't transportation. It's ego. And ego is expensive. Ego will keep you poor forever. The Millionaire Next Door figured this out decades ago. They realized that the guy judging their old car probably can't afford his new one either. That the only person impressed by luxury vehicles is someone who can't afford them. Real wealth whispers. Fake wealth shouts from a car loan. Stanley's research was clear. The road to becoming a millionaire is paved with practical decisions, and it's driven on with a boring paid-off car that nobody notices. Chapter 5. Economic Outpatient Care. Stanley found the most uncomfortable truth buried in his research. Parents who keep giving their adult children money are destroying them, slowly, lovingly, completely. He called it economic outpatient care. Sounds medical, sounds helpful. It's actually financial poison wrapped in good intentions. Here's the pattern. Parents work hard their entire lives, build wealth, feel guilty that their kids struggle, so they help. They pay the down payment on the house. They cover the car lease. They slip $5,000 here, $10,000 there. They think they're being generous. They're creating financial invalids. Stanley discovered something shocking. The more money parents give their adult children, the less wealth those children accumulate. The less they save, the less they invest. They become addicted to the safety net. They stop trying to build their own. There's this couple Stanley studied. Given over $300,000 to their daughter over 15 years. Down payment help, credit card bailouts, car payments. The daughter was 42 years old. Still couldn't make it on her own. Still called mom and dad whenever money got tight. Her brother got nothing. Parents said, figure it out yourself. He struggled for years, drove beaters, lived in small apartments, clipped coupons, hated every minute of it. At 45, he was worth more than his sister ever would be. Because he had to learn, he had no choice. The daughter never developed financial discipline. Why would she? She had a bank called Mom and Dad. Open 24 hours. No interest. No accountability. Parents think they're helping their kids get ahead. They're actually keeping them behind. Because struggle builds character. Struggle builds skills. Struggle builds the muscle you need to handle money properly. One millionaire told Stanley his dad refused to help him buy his first house. He was angry for years, felt abandoned. But that anger made him work harder, made him save aggressively, made him figure out creative solutions. 20 years later, he owned 4 properties. His dad taught him the most valuable lesson by saying no. Here's the twisted part. The adult children receiving the most help don't even realize they're being handicapped. They think their parents are being kind. They feel entitled to it. They spend more because they know backup is coming. Stanley found that financially independent adults rarely received ongoing support from parents. Their parents helped with education, maybe helped once with a major purchase, then cut the cord, forced independence. It felt cruel. It was actually love. The wealthiest families understood this instinctively. They didn't shield their kids from financial reality. They exposed them to it. Let them feel the pressure. Let them make mistakes. Let them learn that money isn't magic. It's earned, it's managed, it's respected. Economic outpatient care creates permanent patience. People who never learn to walk financially on their own, who reach 50 years old still calling their parents when the credit card bill arrives. The millionaire next door became a millionaire partly because their parents let them struggle. Let them fail. Let them figure it out. That struggle was the gift. The money would have been the curse. Chapter 6. Affirmative Action, Family Style. Stanley noticed something strange in wealthy families. The kids who got the most attention often got the least money. The kids who seemed to struggle the most received the most inheritance. Parents were playing favorites with their wallets, and it was tearing families apart. He called it affirmative action. Family style. Parents trying to create equality among their children by giving more to the ones who achieved less. Sounds fair on the surface. Creates resentment that lasts generations. Picture this. Two brothers. One becomes a doctor, works 80-hour weeks, saves aggressively, invests wisely, lives modestly despite high income. The other bounces between jobs, can't hold down anything stable, lives paycheck to paycheck when there is a paycheck. Parents die, leave 60% of the estate to the struggling son, 40% to the doctor. Their reasoning? The doctor doesn't need it. The other son needs help. The doctor never spoke to his brother again. Stanley found this pattern everywhere in his research. Parents giving disproportionate gifts to underachieving children, paying their rent, covering their mistakes, funding their lifestyle, while the successful child got a card on their birthday. The logic is broken. You're rewarding failure. You're punishing success. You're teaching your kids that responsible choices lead to less support. That struggling gets you more attention and more money. One millionaire told Stanley about his sister. She made poor decision after poor decision, married badly twice, couldn't hold a job. Their parents bailed her out constantly. Meanwhile, he worked his way through college, built a business, never asked for a dime. When the parents died, sister got the house. He got the old furniture. He wasn't even angry about the money. He was angry about the message. Your hard work meant nothing. Her helplessness meant everything. Wealthy families who stay wealthy understand something crucial. You don't give more to the child who needs more. You give equally, or you give to the ones who'll use it wisely. Sounds harsh. It's actually honest. Because life isn't equal. Effort isn't equal. Results aren't equal. Pretending they are by redistributing money doesn't create fairness. It creates dysfunction. Stanley interviewed families where parents gave each child the same amount. Period. Didn't matter who made more or less. Didn't matter who struggled or succeeded. Equal distribution. Those families stayed close. Those siblings remained friends. The families that played favorites with money, they exploded. Siblings stopped talking. Holidays became war zones, all because parents tried to fix inequality with cash instead of letting their adult children live with the consequences of their choices. Here's what parents miss. Your successful child doesn't need your money, but they need your respect. They need acknowledgement that their discipline mattered, that their sacrifice wasn't invisible. When you give more to the child who did less, you're saying effort doesn't matter. Smart choices don't matter. Discipline doesn't matter. Just wait around and complain enough, and you'll get rewarded. The Millionaire Next Door watched their parents treat siblings equally. It taught them that wealth respects fairness, not feelings. That money shouldn't be a bandage for poor decisions. That real love sometimes means letting people face their own consequences. Chapter 7. Find Your Niche. There's a guy in Minnesota who became a millionaire selling mailboxes. Not fancy mailboxes, regular mailboxes, just mailboxes. Nobody dreams about mailboxes. Nobody writes songs about mailboxes. But this guy found a gap in the market and filled it until his bank account overflowed. Stanley discovered that most millionaires aren't running sexy businesses. They're not tech entrepreneurs or hedge fund managers. They're running boring businesses that nobody else wanted to touch. And they're getting rich quietly while everyone else chases the glamorous stuff. One millionaire owned a company that cleaned commercial ovens. Restaurant ovens, hotel ovens, the ovens nobody wants to think about. He cornered that market in 3 states, retired at 53. Never made headlines, never needed to. The pattern Stanley found was simple. Wealthy people identify underserved markets. They find the need nobody else wants to meet. They become the only solution to a very specific problem. Then they own that space completely. There's less competition in boring. There's less ego in unglamorous work, which means there's more money for the people willing to do it. One woman became a millionaire specializing in tax preparation for truckers. Just truckers. She understood their specific deductions, their unique situations, their complicated schedules. She became the go-to person in that world. Truckers drove hours to see her. She charged premium rates because she delivered premium value. She didn't try to be everything to everyone. She became essential to a very specific someone. Stanley found that specialists almost always out-earn generalists. The general contractor makes decent money. The contractor who only restores Victorian homes makes a fortune. Because people will pay more when you're the absolute expert in exactly what they need. But here's what stops most people. They're embarrassed by boring businesses. They want to tell people at parties that they're doing something impressive, something cool. So they chase crowded markets with thin margins and massive competition. The millionaire next door doesn't care about dinner party conversation. They care about profit margins. They found their corner of the market, planted their flag, and defended it ruthlessly. One guy made millions in fence installation. Fences, not exactly revolutionary. But he studied everything about fences. Every material, every style, every regulation in every county. He became the authority. Contractors called him. Architects called him. His advice was gold because his knowledge was deep. Depth beats width every single time. Stanley's research showed that niche business owners had significantly higher net worth than people trying to appeal to everybody. Because when you're the only real option for a specific need, you control pricing. You control terms. You control your own destiny. The world doesn't need another general consultant, another life coach, another marketing agency doing what 10,000 others do. The world needs someone who solves one specific problem better than anyone else alive. Find the mailboxes. Find the commercial ovens. Find the thing everyone overlooks and become irreplaceable at it. The money is hiding in the boring places, right where most people refuse to look. Right where the millionaire next door is counting it quietly. Chapter 8. Jobs, Millionaires versus Heirs. Stanley split wealthy people into two groups. Those who built wealth themselves, and those who inherited it. The difference between them was staggering, and not in the way you'd think. The self-made millionaires were happier, more confident, more skilled, more resilient. The heirs were anxious, dependent, fragile. They had more money and less of everything else that mattered. Self-made millionaires worked jobs that taught them money lessons early. They sold things door to door. They worked commission-only positions. They felt the direct connection between effort and reward. Every dollar they made, they earned. That shaped them. Heirs worked cushy jobs their parents arranged, or didn't work at all. They never felt hunger, never felt the burn of losing a sale, never stayed up at night wondering how to make rent. They skipped the struggle that builds the character you need to keep wealth. One self-made millionaire started as a salesman selling industrial cleaning supplies. Spent 5 years getting rejected daily. Learned to handle objections. Learned to read people. Learned to close deals. Those skills made him millions later when he started his own distribution company. His cousin inherited $2 million at 25. Never worked a real job. Burned through the inheritance in 12 years. Ended up working retail at 40. Had money but never learned what to do with it. Stanley found that millionaires who built their wealth themselves had a completely different relationship with money. They respected it, feared losing it, understood exactly how hard it was to accumulate. That kept them disciplined. Heirs treated money like air, always there. Never thought about where it came from. Spent carelessly because they never connected spending to earning. The money just existed until it didn't. The jobs millionaires worked early in life mattered enormously. Jobs with direct feedback. Jobs where performance determined income. Jobs that forced accountability. Those experiences created financial discipline that lasted forever. One millionaire worked as a waiter through college. Lived entirely on tips. Some nights made $200. Some nights made 40. That volatility taught him to save during good times because bad times always came. That lesson made him wealthy later when he started his own business. His brother got an allowance through college. Never worked. Never felt financial uncertainty. At 50, he still didn't understand why money disappeared from his account so quickly. Never made the connection between his spending and his struggles. Stanley's research was brutal but clear. The harder your early jobs, the wealthier you'll likely become. Not because hard jobs pay more, because hard jobs teach you what easy jobs never do. They teach you that money is finite, that comfort is earned, that nobody owes you anything. The millionaire next door usually started at the bottom, worked jobs their friends wouldn't touch, felt the sting of financial pressure. That pressure forged them into people who could build and keep wealth. The heirs started at the top. Never climbed anything, never developed the muscles you only build through struggle. They had the money but missed the education. And eventually the money left because the wisdom never arrived. Chapter 9. Accumulation of Wealth. The Big Picture. Stanley spent 2 decades studying millionaires, and it all came down to one simple equation. Your wealth isn't determined by what you make. It's determined by what you don't spend multiplied by time. That's it. That's the entire secret. No complexity, no magic formula, just consistent discipline applied over decades while everyone else is busy looking rich. The millionaire next door understood something that seems almost too obvious to matter. Small decisions compound. That daily coffee you didn't buy, invested over 30 years, it's $170,000. That car payment you avoided, that's $400,000 in your retirement account. Every single spending decision is actually an investment decision. You're either investing in your future or you're investing in right now. Most people choose right now every single time, then wonder why their future looks so bleak. One millionaire told Stanley his entire wealth-building strategy in one sentence: spend less than you earn and invest the difference. Repeat for 40 years. He made it sound boring because it is boring. Boring works. Exciting keeps you broke. The wealthy people Stanley studied weren't smarter than everyone else. They just had longer time horizons. They could delay gratification. They could see 10 years ahead while their neighbors could barely see past next weekend. They understood compound interest not as a concept, but as a religion. Einstein supposedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. The millionaire next door treated it like gospel. Every dollar they saved became $2, then $4, then $8. Time did the heavy lifting. They just had to not screw it up by spending it. Here's what Stanley found that should shake everyone awake. 2 people earning $50,000 a year. One saves 10%. One saves nothing. After 30 years, the saver has over $800,000. The other has zero. Same income, completely different life. The only difference was one small choice repeated over and over. Most people think becoming a millionaire requires a massive income. Stanley proved that's completely wrong. He found millionaires who never earned more than $60,000 a year. They just saved aggressively and invested consistently. They lived below their means for so long it became their natural state. Meanwhile, people earning $300,000 a year stayed broke because they upgraded their lifestyle every time their income increased. New house, new car, private schools, country club. They made more and kept less. Income went up. Wealth stayed flat. The big picture is uncomfortable. It means most people could become millionaires but choose not to. Not consciously, but through 1,000 small decisions that prioritize today over tomorrow. Through caring what strangers think. Through needing the latest version of everything. The millionaire next door made different choices. Drove the old car. Lived in the modest house. Wore the same watch for 20 years. Let everyone think they were struggling, while their investment accounts grew silently in the background. Compounding, multiplying, building the freedom everyone else was too busy shopping to create. Stanley's research showed us the path. Most of us just refuse to walk it because it doesn't look impressive enough from the outside, but from the inside. From the place of complete financial security, it looks like everything.